Hello everyone, Eugene the Author here. I waved way too low for you to see it. You just got my... Hello everyone, Eugene the Author here, and I am so excited to be playing Elden Ring for you today. Part of why I'm so excited, I was going to pull up something, but then I realized that if I did, it would... That's loud. If I did, it would reveal my friends list. I joined the 7.7 Club and I'm super excited, which is the 7.7% of people that 100% did all of the achievements in Elden Ring. I'm really excited to be playing this game for you guys. We're going to start a new game. I'm a little all over the place, so we're going to start a new game and we're going to dive right in. We're going to have a few preliminaries before we get things going here. So those preliminaries are, if you're wondering why I'm playing Elden Ring now, then you obviously didn't watch my gaming and mental health or mental health and gaming video. So Elden Ring has become a game that I've played to de-stress, to decompress, to collect myself when I'm done with all the stress and the hustle and bustle at work and my personal life and my studio life and everything. It's a lot of fun and I've come to really appreciate the game a great deal. And there's just so much that it has to offer. There's so many cool things you can do. I've beaten the game 4 times now and had a blast every time. Let me preface this by saying by no means am I saying that I'm like the king of Elden Ring, right? Like, I'm not Let Me Solo Her. I'm not somebody who's going to jump in as a deprived warrior in their underwear and punch Cthulhu to death. But I am somebody who I've picked up some different tricks, some different tactics, some different things that you can do, and one of the things that I want to do is make Elden Ring and other Souls games a little more accessible for people. It can be very intimidating getting into the Souls genre. The games themselves are soul-crushingly difficult, the community has a bit of a reputation, somewhat earned, somewhat not, for being a tad elitist, and so it can be intimidating to get into these games. What I'm hoping to do with this series is to show you some sides of Elden Ring that you may not have seen before. We're not going to necessarily beat the game in order. We're going to kind of just have fun with it. I have, like I said, I've beaten it 4 times now, so I have kind of a loop that I like to do. And I'm going to mix up my loop a little bit because what I'm also going to do is play a class that I've never played before. So we're going to play a dual-wielding warrior. We're going to play a dual-wielding warrior type character. And this is a blood build is what we're going to go for. I looked into some weapons and some ways to kind of go about it. So I'm going to play a build that I haven't really played before. You can't see my face anyways. And we're going to have a lot of fun. What is our warrior going to be named? You know what? Here. Boop, 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 boop. Your name? Oh, that's perfect. Your name is Tiwa. It's a Yoruba name for one who owns the crown. Because we're going to be the Elden Lord. And the keepsake that we're going to start with is going to be the Golden Seed, which is going to let us be able to start with 1 extra charge to our Sacred Flask. And while I make my character, I'm going to just kind of talk about some things here. So the first time I beat the game, I did it as a Glintstone Mage, and that was really exciting for me because magic wasn't always the most viable in previous Souls games. Previous Souls games, magic was a little hard to play. My introduction to the series was Demon Souls. Before Souls games were cool, and everybody was doing it, there was an article that I read about a game called Demon Souls, which was a somewhat off-putting name, but I was curious. I mean, it caught my attention, and it was this dark fantasy sword and sorcery game by the team that brought us Armored Core, or by the studio at least that brought us Armored Core. So the studio that's known for making these really hardcore, well, not necessarily hardcore in terms of difficulty, but just these super fun and unique giant robot games suddenly was making this European dark fantasy, and that was a fascinating idea to me. And I wanted to see what it was all about. So I imported the game from Korea. It was for PS3, and I imported the game from Korea. I want her eyes to be... because at the time, that was the only way that you could play the game. The game wasn't in America, but the Korean version was in English, which is really cool. So I imported the game from Korea, and it had this reputation, like I said, for being a really hardcore, difficult experience. And I wanted to see what that was all about. So I imported it, and I played what was at the time known as one of the hardest classes in the game to play, which was the Wanderer. And I got in there and I had an absolute blast with the game. And have been addicted to Souls titles ever since. Fun fact though, I have only beaten Elden Ring and Demon Souls. I have not beaten Bloodborne, as much as I like that game. And I have not beaten any of the Dark Souls games. I personally did not enjoy Dark Souls as much as I enjoyed Demon Souls, so that was a part of it. Not knocking the game. If you like it, that's perfectly fine. It just wasn't a title that I enjoyed as much. But that was kind of my introduction to the universe, and kind of my credentials, if you will. What I've found is that Souls games are super fun, but people are a little intimidated by them and by the community. So what I'm hoping to do is show you kind of a different side to the game, and kind of just, there's certain things that I'm not going to edit out, you know, like I'm gonna, for the sake of impact and brevity, if I just hit a wall and I'm just dying repeatedly, because again, this isn't a class that I've played before, so if I'm just hitting a wall and dying repeatedly, then we're gonna skip ahead a little bit. Looking good, Tiwa. But beyond that, I really want you to be able to just have fun with the game and to learn and experience things for yourself and see the game in a different light. I'm going to shut up during this opening sequence.
The fallen leaves tell a story. The great Elden Ring was shattered. In our home, across the fog, the lands between. Now, Queen Marika the Eternal is nowhere to be found. And in the night of the Black Knives, Godwyn the Golden was first to perish. Soon, Marika's offspring, demigods all, claimed the shards of the Elden Ring. The mad taint of their newfound strength triggered the shattering. A war from which no lord arose. A war leading to abandonment by the greater will. Oh, rise now, Ye tarnished, ye dead, who yet live. The call of long-lost grace speaks to us all. Hellooooo, chieftain of the Badlands, the ever-brilliant Gold Mask. Fear, the deathbed companion, the loathsome dung-eater, and Sir Gideon Othmere, the all-knowing.
I mean, my man's just left it all on the field. I swear, like, I didn't want to say a single word during that opening because...
And one other, whom grace would again bless.
I mean, this man gave it his all.
A tarnished of no renown. Cross the fog to the lands between, to stand before the Elden Ring.
I love this game
and
so
become
much.
the Elden Lord.
So I love that idea, that imagery of us being a warrior from another land. We were drawn here to the lands between. So, okay, a couple of things here. Every Souls game opens with a boss fight that you're not supposed to win. You can if you're good enough. I have never played this class before, and I just spent a good 40 hours in a light equipment build, light equipment load build. So if you go to my stats here, you can see, go away. Wrong area. My equipment, you can see I'm at medium load, which means that I have a slower roll than if I were at like, see how much quicker and more responsive that is, and that's the roll that I'm used to for the last 40 or 50 hours. So I'm playing a class that I've never played with a style that I'm not used to. I thought it would be really fun for me to experience this brand new and for you guys to experience it with me. And again, my goal isn't to come in here and be like, I'm the king of Elden Ring, because I'm not. My goal is to show you guys that you can have fun. It's a punishing game, it's a difficult game, and it's one that you can really learn, and you really got to learn for yourself how to play it. But hopefully you learn some things, you see some sides of the game you've never seen before. Alright, so first boss fight, Grafted Scion. This is a really aggressive boss. And you can win this fight. You're not likely to, because at this point you can't. Yeah. At this point you can't heal, you have crap stats, you have crap gear. Better players than I. But, yeah. If you win, you get the ornamental sword early, which is a great sword to have if you want to have a golden duelist build, which is what I did my third run. I think I was a golden duelist. There's certain things that I'm just not going to do. This isn't going to be 100% of the world run because I'm playing a dexterity bleed build that is eventually going to become a poison bleed build. So I'm not going to use magic. Well, I'm going to get Golden Vow at some point, but I'm not going to use magic. There's a lot that's in the world that's not relevant to my class. Some things I'm just going to do out of habit and get that I don't really need, but I'm not going to be going everywhere. Hi, Torrent! Who's the best boy? You are. Hi, what's your name?
Don't worry, Torrent. Fortune is on her side.
You say that.
We found her here after all.
So that's important to note, that Torrent is capable of worry. Torrent is capable of emotion.
One of her kind is sure to seek the Elden Ring.
For the lore, it's worth considering that Torrent has feelings.
Even if it does violate the Golden Order.
Order schmorder. I bow to no order. I've beaten this game 4 times and I can't remember that woman's name. So, like I said, I'm not going to do the game in the expected order. I kind of have my own way of doing things, and for this build, I've built a way of doing things that I haven't done before. I've got a third monitor here that has my list of things that I want to accomplish in each kind of arc of progress for this character and for this run. So this first arc is going to be everything up to the first real boss, but we're not going to... Okay, so Flask of Crimson Tears and Cerulean Tears. You use the flask to heal. Now, go away. If you jump off the side, it kicks off the tutorial. I'm not going to do that. And these little ghosty dudes will tell you things that they remember about their lives, generally speaking. But we're not going to do the tutorial. I know how to play. And by watching me, you will learn how to play. Okay, so yeah, like I talked about in my gaming and mental health video, I played this game to de-stress and to relax, and I've got my list on the side here because I've had a few concussions actually, and sometimes it's a little hard for me to keep information. Superfluous information. And so, okay, I'm sorry, I should be explaining what I'm doing also, but I'm being transparent about these things because I really want to destigmatize so much. I want to destigmatize that you got to be perfect to play this game, that not anybody can learn how to play this game. I want to destigmatize you know, mental health in gaming and the things that we go through and deal with. So yeah, I don't mind telling you that. So I use the golden seed so that I have 1 extra charge to my flask, and this build does not use magic, except for summoning the Warriors of Old to help me fight. So I don't need to have any magic. We're going to play as much of this solo as possible. I've managed to solo every boss in the game except the last boss, the real last boss. So we're going to do as much as we can solo, just using our own skill, our own grit, and the tools that we pick up along the way. Now that doesn't mean I'm not going to use Ashes of War, because I absolutely, or summons, because I absolutely am going to. And look at this gorgeous open world. So now we're in Limegrave, and when we go to the map, this looks small, but it's a significant map. This is a lot of ground to cover. So the map is not open to us right now. We've got to find map fragments. So I'm going to activate this Lost Grace. Go away. Go away. We're going to talk to this guy.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
We
are.
Come to the lands between for the Elden Ring. Of course you have. No shame in it.
I'm not ashamed.
Unfortunately for you, however, you are maidenless.
I am a maiden.
Without guidance.
Excuse me.
Without the strength of runes, and without an invitation to the round table hold, you are fated, it seems, to die in obscurity.
Excuse me. I'm going to be the queen of the universe.
Luckily for you,
This is something to keep in mind. You need to talk to NPCs multiple times. If you are ever trying to do a character's questline and it's just not progressing, make sure that you've exhausted everything they have to say. Also, Vari's a dirtbag, and we're going to kill him later.
The golden light that gives life to you, tarnished.
That's that thing back
You
there.
may also behold its golden rays,
And that's that
pointing
thing up
in
there.
a particular direction at times. That is the guidance.
And that guy down there is a dirtbag.
A path that a tarnished must travel. Indeed. Grace's guidance holds the answers. It will lead you, tarnished, to the path you are meant to follow.
Yeah, except for I follow my own path. Thank you very much. Are we done talking?
Grace's guidance will
Mm-hmm.
castle Stormvale,
Mm-hmm.
the home of the decrepit
Yep.
demi.
Okay. Are you done talking to me?
Castle
It is time I
Stormvale
set off.
used-
Leave me alone. Okay, so Vari's a dirtbag, and we're gonna kill him later, if I remember to. Because he's gonna try to kill me later, because I'm not a bad person. So that guy way back there is the Tree Sentinel, and he's used to teach you your limits. He's used to kind of let you know you're going to encounter some things in the world that are really powerful and really scary, and you don't always have to deal with them right when you encounter them. It's a mark of pride for new players to beat Tree Sentinel their first time. I'm that player who I see something I'm not supposed to fight, and I will beat my head against the wall, fighting it over and over and over again until I win. We're not going to do that this run. We'll fight Tree Sentinel when we're a little better equipped to deal with him. So, as I play, I haven't remembered to say it all this whole time, but as I play, you're going to see objectives pop up on the screen. It's going to let you know what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. So, we are going to talk to Kale now. He's a nomadic merchant and a great guy.
I can see it, and I can also see that you're not after my throat.
I'm not. I'm a
Then
sweet,
why not
sweet
purchase
gal.
a little something?
I would never hurt
I
you.
am Kale,
I definitely did not
purveyor of
kill
fine
your
goods.
friends in my dark run because it was convenient to get all the bell bearings in one place so that I could stock my arrows quickly, because I'm a good person. Tell me
I
about
am
yourself.
of a nomadic people, selling wares as I travel. The land has been tainted by madness since the shattering of the Elden Ring. It's only
That's bad.
tarnished like yourself, who keep things from drying up entirely.
You're
Let's say you're a
welcome.
very
I'm doing a
welcome customer.
great public service. So, I'm just going
You know,
to exhaust your
you should
dialogue
buy
real
us
quick.
a
He's going to tell me to
crafting
buy a
essential
crafting kit.
kit
I
or
don't think I really need a crafting kit. I don't have any runes. I've not killed anything. Runes are your currency. Runes are how you level up. So, what we're going to do now is go and run a dungeon. Hello! So one of the things that's neat about this build is the running attack and the jumping attack are 4 slashes, which is really neat. So some of the content that I am going to be cutting is there'll be certain points that I'm going to need to just farm for things. Farm for runes, farm for materials, and unless something interesting happens, I'll show you where I go to farm and tell you why I'm doing it, but I'm not going to make you watch me just farm for hours. I'm not going to farm for hours, but you know what I mean. Okay, so this is the Groveside Cave. There's a fun little boss fight down here. And you need to activate these summoning pools if you want to be able to play multiplayer. We're going to just go ahead and do this. You can do this without having leveled up or anything. You can deal with the boss of this area. Yeah, get it! So you can kind of see I'm being really aggressive, which is something that you really want to do with this build. Bleed is a fun little stat that builds up on a meter that is visible if you're getting bled, but invisible if you're bleeding the enemy. And when the bleed meter fills, it takes a percentage of the health of the enemy away in damage, which is great. But bleed slowly drops off if you're not constantly attacking. So you've really got to be aggressive. When you go through these golden fog walls, you go to the boss area. You've got to be really aggressive, but you've got to be really careful also, especially because right now I'm at the base level. And not doing a good job. But this is part of why I wanted to play a build that I've never played before. is to make it harder on myself as well. Okay, let me just focus. It's very hard to play this and talk at the same time. So you see something that's a little bit unique to Elden Ring from other Souls games is at the end, watch at the end of the combo. They have these big wind-ups where they hit you like from downtown. Yeah, see, much better when I'm not trying to talk and fight the boss at the same time. So this Flame Drake Talisman doesn't really matter to my build. It boosts your resistance to fire damage. We're not gonna use it, but we got a tidy bit of runes, souls for the currency in other games. We got a tidy bit of runes for doing that, which will be useful for leveling up. But you'll see a lot with these boss fights where the boss will. So the only way that you get your charges back is by resting at a site of grace, which also makes everything that you've killed that's not a boss or a mini boss respawn. But yeah, no. So you hello. You'll see the bosses will have these attacks that have these big wind-ups that kind of help you learn, like, okay, whatever you're about to do is bad and I don't want you to do it. So you're letting me know you're about to do something really bad to me and I need to move. So that's good to help you learn, and it really kind of throws off those of us that have been playing Souls games for a while, because typically enemies are a touch more aggressive. Like, the big wind-up is something that's kind of unique to this game. Hello. Goodbye. Hi, friend. Let's be friends. Haha. Aw, he's sleepy. Night-night. Okay. So now... Excuse me? Excuse me? You chose this. I had no quarrel with you. I don't even need hefty beast bones for anything. So now what we're going to do is get a horse. These little dudes, if you destroy them, usually give you something. But if you're not quick, they'll disappear. So Teardrop Scarabs will usually either unlock a new move, or they will restore whatever they are the color of. Okay, so you see that golden point off in the distance? That's where we want to be. Okay, so now that we're here, we are going to activate the Lost Grace. It's worth knowing that you can activate the Grace without resting at the Grace, so you can unlock a checkpoint without actually having to respawn everything if you're not ready for that to happen yet. And now we're going to get a horse. Chilling at the campfire, contemplating my life and considering what got me here. Hi, stranger, you should announce yourself so I don't throw a scimitar at your face. She's just like, huh, that's weird. Girl out of nowhere.
Greetings,
Hello.
traveler from beyond
Oh,
the
I
fog.
never noticed that the whistle is
am
her
Melina.
clasp. Melina, okay. I'm gonna forget your name again.
I offer you an accord.
That mark on her eye would make a really cool tattoo. Alright, what you got for me?
Heard of the Finger Maidens? They serve the Two Fingers, offering guidance and aid to the tarnished.
I get it.
But you,
Like, the fingers guide
I am
fate,
afraid,
but
are
I
maidens.
just, it's so funny to me that that's what they went
I
with.
can play
Out
the
of
role
everything
maiden,
that Miyazaki and George R. R.
turning
Martin
runes into
could have gone
strength.
with, That's what they went with.
In your search for the Elden Ring.
Cool.
You need only take me with you.
I mean, you're the first person I've met who's not trying to kill me. So yeah, let's be friends. And depending on the path we take, you may still be my mega best friend, or maybe not. So there's 6 endings in the game. I've seen 4 of them. Only 2 of them really have like a great deal of impact to them.
To traverse great distances.
A great deal of visual impact. The rest is just like implied lore.
Named Torrent. Torrent has chosen you.
Thank you. So that's worth noting also. Torrent has chosen you. So now we know that Torrent feels and Torrent has reason. So that's just interesting lore to consider.
Share them with me.
Okay, so now we're gonna level up. There's a few specific things that we want to accomplish with this build. I'm going to start with Vigor and Endurance, and I want to get those to 20. And then I'm going to start pumping stats into Dexterity, which is where a lot of my damage is going to come. Alright, done talking, go away. So if I go to my... stop it. If I go to my equipment... Stop! If I go to my equipment, you'll see this weapon scales on Strength and Dexterity. And it has a higher Dexterity requirement than it has a Strength requirement. So we are going to eventually play with our strength more, but strength is kind of where you want it to be, and it scales better off of dexterity. So I don't want this. You're just making me heavy for no reason. Okay, cool. So now I want this, and I have a horse. So now it's time to go and get a bell and some wolves. From the doll lady, whom I'm not overly fond of.
May I have a word?
I have a name, it's Tiwa. It means Queen of the Universe.
I am the witch Renna. I'd heard tell of a tarnished
it means one who inherits the crown.
And upon looking into the matter, the talk I surmise is of thee. Thou art
yeah, I'm kind of a big deal. Queen of the Universe in the making. Yep.
As I had hoped.
So now Randy's going to give us the summoning bell, which allows you to call the spirits of warriors of times past, the spirit calling bell, to aid you in battle. Yep. So this is interesting too. Ash and return to the Erd Tree.
As they recall battles past.
And they're reliving these old battles.
As thou wishest.
Cool, thanks.
Forgive mine intrusion, Tarnished.
I have a name.
We shall again meet.
Oh, you say that. I'll be seeing you later. Don't you worry, your pretty blue and white head. So that's kind of interesting because she's already kind of laying down the seed of the idea of wanting you to consider betraying the Two Fingers. Okay, so we've got a pretty good start to where we want to be in life. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go back to Agil Lake, and I want to unlock the map fragment for this area. And this is an area that I need to farm a little because they have armor I want. So do I have any? I want to. This is a teachable moment right here. Do I have a? I don't have anything ranged. So homeboy with a shield over there is one of the first obstacles for a lot of people. Well, the tree sentinel is the first obstacle for a lot of people. But homeboy with this shield is high, intimidating, and kind of difficult to deal with. So I want to get his attention. I don't want to fight both of these guys at the same time. But I want to kind of give you an idea of how you fight that guy. But I'm going to see if I can deal with this guy so I can just do singles combat against that guy. Because, okay, so you see he hits really hard. He protects his body. And it's not ideal to have to fight him and somebody else at the same time. Okay, now we can kind of focus on him. I may or may not die, honestly. But the idea is that you really got to kind of be aggressive. Get your hits in where you can. And know that you're going to take some hits. And that you're really going to wear him down with chip damage more than anything. But one of the pieces of advice that I would give people trying to learn how to play this game is don't get greedy. Like, it's okay to take your time. Like, I'm getting impatient, right? Like, I'm getting impatient and I'm taking hits that I shouldn't because I'm getting impatient and I just want this fight to be over. But there you go. So I'm all out of healing flasks now. I put myself in a very poor position. But we're just going to see what we can do. So the next thing we want to do is deal with this guy over here. Because he, you know, we're not going to be sneaky. He is going to blow his horn and wake up everybody in the camp. And then you will have literally the entire camp bearing down on you. Going after him at this range aggroes this guy. So we want to deal with him also. Now, that guy in the distance probably sees us. There's two guys back there. And now I found the map, so I can actually see this area, but we're not going to stay in this menu because there's people on the prowl for me. I could use my spirit wolves. There's no shame in it. I'm going to use them pretty frequently. But I'm not because they will draw the attention of a lot more people than I want to deal with right now. I'm going to go ahead and pop my wolves now because I have no flasks and I can only take about 2 more hits before I die. So the wolves are fun because you'll see that they don't do much damage and they don't have much health, but they are very aggressive and they will draw attention away from you, which is what you want. So now we have a flail, which we're not going to use. These 2 scimitar are going to kind of be what carries us through the game. I changed out my armor. With this build, you're going to be trading damage a lot, and so you want the heaviest armor you can get away with without having to go above being a medium equipment load. A lot of combat in Elden Ring. Aw. My little sister sent me a message. A lot of combat in Elden Ring is revolving around baiting, well, for this class I should say, is revolving around baiting enemies into attacking you. So now I can go ahead and rest at this side of grace, but I'm not going to. I'm going to just activate it so that I have it. We're not going to deal with anything in that tunnel for a while, actually. So we're going to go ahead and clear out this area here. So there's going to be a dude with some wolves over in this general area. Those bats suck. When you aggro them, they will just chase you forever. They will chase you forever. They're hard to hit. They suck. So again, I'm being really kind of aggressive, which is what this class requires. But also, like, play your own way. There's no right way to play. The only right way to play the game is whichever way makes you have fun. Don't feel like you've got to be some master at the game. Don't feel like you have to play, like, oh, don't use any summons because it's cheap. So this is a cool mechanic. When you clear out a camp, you will actually get charges of your flask back. This is an open world thing. It doesn't happen in dungeons. I think there's like 1 or 2 dungeons it might happen in. But don't let anybody tell you that you have to play the game a certain way. You don't. The only right way to play is whatever way lets you have fun. Full stop. If you're having fun, that's the right way. Solo the game if you want to. Play with people online if you want to. Like, there's no right or wrong way. Did we get everybody? We got everybody. Okay, so I'm going to call it here. We're going to go back to our site of grace that I don't know where is. And you'll see when I rest at the site of grace that all those guys that I killed have respawned. So we're going to call it here for the first episode. We got a good foundation laid. So what we're going to want to do next is get some more armor, and then we're going to go on an adventure. We're not going to do the obvious thing and take Gatefront like they want us to. We're going to just go exploring and knock out some other things first. So again, I'm so excited to share this game with you. It's one of my favorite games in the world. And I really hope I can show you a different side of Elden Ring, and I hope I can show you a different side of hardcore Souls players. Because we're not all the mean people that you hear about. And I just want everybody to have a good time. So this is Eugene the Author saying, thank you so much for watching. Be awesome, be amazing, you already are. Be safe out there, guys.